Can you just talk a little bit about some of the biggest misconceptions that swimmers have about, earning a spot on an NCAA Division I team?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing I would say is that they expect spots to appear before them or naturally raise up. Where it's like I probably get almost over 100 emails a day for kids emailing me wanting to be on the University of Arkansas, and that's just a women's only program. And I think a lot of kids don't realize there's quite a bit of groundwork to do before you even get to that point. A lot of our kids are wondering, why didn't I get contacted by them? My times are equal to them. Why am I not doing that? Well, I've got over, many kids think I'm just recruiting the United States when in reality, I'm recruiting the world. And when you think about how many swimmers there are in the world, it's an absurd amount. I think a lot of kids' misconception is that coaches will come to them when it should be them going to the coaches. I know, especially with us, we love it when kids reach out that are actually good, that are actually fast, and a ton do. But just we have to be selective in who we recruit. So I think a big misconception is waiting for coaches to reach out to you and not being active with that, not thinking. The other thing I would say is a misconception is that D1 is the only route. I've been on all levels of coaching, and D1 is the greatest level. I will say that, but it is not the end all be all. I've seen swimmers do incredible things, make international teams at every level I've been at. So I think for me is those two are the biggest conceptions of like being open to reaching out to coaches. Make that email, take the time, send it, make it personalized, and do all those things. And then the second thing would be is like, don't be afraid to reach out to any level. You never know where you're going to go.
My next question is about more of your background because I know you've coached, you've been an NAIA, you're in NCAA D1, training environment, expectations. What have you seen?
Yeah, I think expectation, swimming level, ability level, how the team functions, how the team operates. I mean, when I was at Kaiser and we were there and it was all about like what the coaches wanted out of the athletes. It didn't matter if I was, it didn't matter who you were on the team. You knew that like we were going to get the best out of you and our expectations were of that. And that doesn't change by Division I, NAIA, NCJAA, D2, D3. It's all about the coach. It's all about what are the coaches' expectations for you. Here at Arkansas, our expectations are top 25 this past year. Now we're going for top 20, top 15 next year. And it's just like, it's all about the expectation level for the coaches. The biggest difference I see between D1 and NAIA and D2 and D3 is the amount of resources you have.
Yeah.
NAIA, those coaches have to get creative, and they're some of the best coaches at giving the kids what they need, giving the athletes what they need. You really need a coach who's invested, who wants to grow the team, who believes in that team, isn't just doing the job to do the job. At the D1 level, you still have those coaches, but they have every access to us. I mean, we have nutritionists, we have psychologists, we have a full entire building made for athletes that can get anything they want out of it, including academic counseling, a strength and conditioning coach that's purely for swimming and diving. And a lot of that utilities make our athletes go from great athletes to Olympic level athletes. And that's because we can utilize all that different stuff. I would also say that the competition level and the one big thing that I'm seeing at D1 level, even versus high D1 level where I'm at now versus mid-major when I was at Hawaii was like, there's a level of competition that's different. There's a level of accountability that's different. There's a level of everything. And I'm not saying Hawaii was bad in any manner. They were amazing, some of the highest levels. It's just a little different when you get up into this level and you see an Olympian next to you. You see a girl who's pushing to make that Olympic team, and it's just a different level that you experience. So a lot of it comes to that. But when it comes to major differences, there's not much. I mean, as weird as that sounds, there's not much. It is all on the coach that you are going with. If you get a great coach down at the NAI level that believes in his program, it's going to, automatically, we said it at Kaiser all the time. We've run this like a D1 program. We are a D1 program. And we ran the ship like a D1 program. And
I think a lot of swimmers do take this for granted because I'm talking to, lots of swimmers now, even in Singapore, here in Southeast Asia, and all they want to go is Division I. They don't want to about any other division. NAIA, some of them don't even know what NAIA is. And the thing is, they might be even better off at, starting at NAIA or a Division II, Division III, even if they don't offer athletic scholarship, that, go to a D1 top program.
Yeah, I remember at Kaiser there were certain kids, and I was a big time swimmer at D1 level when I
Yeah.
swam. Then I went to Kaiser and I was like, all right, I'm going to make the best I can do here. And I thought I was like, I'm at the lowest of the low. This sucks. And then I walked into Kaiser and it was just, the first thing Adam said to me is, we're here to win national titles. We're not here to mess around. And I was like, okay, he's setting the standard. I'm ready to go. And then I remember sitting halfway through the year, I'm talking to a guy who's deciding between us and the University of Indiana. And I'm like, why is this even a choice? Like, what are we doing here? And then he decided to come to us at Kaiser. And I was like, why? Like, why? Like, I had to ask him. I asked him 3 years later. I was like, why did you go to Kaiser? He goes, because it's all about coaching Chris. And it didn't hit me until then that it's like, it doesn't matter where you are. Talent is talent. They're going to show you. So he was like, it's all about coaching. And I believed in your coaching. I believed in what you were selling at Kaiser. I believed in our team. And I was like, yeah. And he goes, and I became a Slovakian national team member. I made all my dreams happen. I made all my goals happen. And it's the same thing. It's like, not further down the road, you had another German who might be probably, most likely, will make the Olympic team in 2 years, and he's swimming the NAI level.
Or no?
He just graduated this year.
Yeah.
And I mean, he went from a nobody in the NAIA, like literally nobody knew about him, to he's going to make the Olympic team. He's the fastest 50 breaststroker currently in Germany. Like, the dumbest thing I hear out of everybody's mouth is, I only got to go D1.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but with roster limits, with the new talent that's coming into the D1, with the worldwide swimming, there ain't much talent that's going to make it to the D1 level. But you've got to believe in yourself. And if you love this sport, there's great talent at D2 and D3. And I mean, I can't shout out Nova Southeastern, Tampa, Drury. There's so many good schools out there that are just doing great things in the D2 world and D3 world and NAI world. Like, when I say it's all about coaching, it is. I've met some coaches at the D2 level, D3 level that I look at, I'm like, you can outcoach 95% of the coaches I know at the D1 level easily. And I'm like, why are you still down here? He goes, because I love it, because I love this school. You find a coach like that, that's going to get you 10 times further than any name on a school will ever get you.
Program. What if, let's say, for example, now a freshman arrives on campus, or a transfer, now that transfers are very popular? What are some of the, reality checks that a swimmer should know before committing to a D1 program?
If you're going to come to somewhere like Arkansas, we got 2 rules on our team for freshmen, and that's be positive and be ready to learn. Those are the only 2 jobs you've got as a freshman on campus. I don't care, how fast you are. I don't care where you're coming from. I don't care if you're a world champion. I don't care if you're an Olympian already. You better be coming to learn in kind of a harsh environment where, it's the SEC, it's NCAA's, the people next to you are not going to care if you're a freshman or you're a senior. They do not care. They are going to beat you. And just being ready for that and knowing that and being like, okay, I can do that. I can learn. I can grow. And I'm gonna get faster here, but I might take my lumps, and that expectation has to be there. Of like, it's not a bad thing, I make it sound bad, but like, we have the most fun when we're learning, and so a lot of our girls do that. It's like they come in, they're ready to learn. Our freshman class was one of the best in the nation, purely because they wanted to learn. They wanted to grow. They didn't care about, what they did individually, how they did individually. They wanted to learn as a team, and they wanted to grow and then to be together. So I think the biggest 2 rules is just like learn and watch and see how you do, and then work hard. Put your head down and go. Pretty simple 2 things that you focus on. I think for the other part of it, for academics, especially if you're coming internationally, put yourself out there. Do not be afraid to learn. I mean, I'm sure you can speak on like going to the States and being kind of terrified to speak.
Years. But when I came in as a freshman, yes, first my English was horrible.
That's
But then, obviously, yes, you're afraid, like you're in a you're completely out of your comfort zone. But then I feel like the main thing is that you're with other international people, that they're the same you. So yeah, maybe when I was in Kaiser, I was a bit more experienced, and I mean that's another thing. Like you grow and you get more independence.
The best people I see, the best people, especially internationals or any freshmen I see, is that they put themselves out there.
Yeah,
They're everybody's uncomfortable in college that first year. And if you don't think you're uncomfortable at some point during your freshman year, you're probably doing it wrong. And so like I would say for a lot of our best freshmen, they find that uncomfortable place of like even socially where they're like messing up words and they keep pushing past it. They keep going. They just keep growing.
exactly.
So I think that's a good D1 standard is learn to be uncomfortable as
Yeah,
much as that sucks. Learn
yeah,
to be
exactly.
uncomfortable.
What can they do today for you to notice tomorrow?
I think it depends where you're at. It depends your times.
Yeah,
It depends on who you are. It depends on how fast you are. That's one thing because again, I get so many athletes. I think depends where you're at in your level. For a sophomore in high school, just keep doing what you're doing. Keep staying on track. Keep swimming as fast as you can. And that's all you need to do. Maybe follow some Instagram pages, but that's about it.
right.
I'm not going
Yeah.
to notice you until I need to recruit you, if I'm honest.
This is
Unless
yeah,
you're a
exactly.
world standard kid.
If an agent emails you or contacts you, do you trust it more than if a single athlete comes to you, or is it
Depends
better
on the
for you? Depends, right?
Depends
Yeah.
on the agent. There
Yeah.
are some agents that I trust with my life that I know, like Laya, you send me somebody, I'm gonna trust you to send me somebody
Yeah.
because I know how you were, you worked with me and I know that I can trust you and I know that you know good talent and I know you're not gonna send me a bad kid. You're gonna send me the right avenues. So it depends on the agent. That's where picking, a good person as your agent representative on the international stage is massively important. Somebody who can reach out to coach and say, hey, this is a good kid. Promise you, trust me. That will get you more scholarship money. That will get you more credibility. That will get me more to pay attention to you than anything else because I know all of us coaches think we have these special cool contacts everywhere around the world. We all have the same people. It's just the relationships we have those with those people depends. So I think that's a big thing is choosing your right person, and like I said, most coaches know you, most coaches like you, Laya, and everybody I talk to is like, yeah, she's good. And so you've got a kind of an advantage in that standard of like, hey, I know I can reach out. So I think now I will say there are some agents that like will constantly send me kids. And we have levels to this, there's levels in swimming, everybody knows it. If I keep getting kids that are 4 levels below me, I'm gonna get annoyed at that agent and start ignoring them.
Yeah.
So being
You can't send an athlete but I think that's what we were talking about. Like there's different levels, and a swimmer that doesn't have the level to go to D1, he needs a reality check and he needs to, like another division or another program. But there's options. How many years have you been coaching now? I know
seven,
you 7 years coaching
7 years,
college,
not too
but
old.
not college 7 years, but you've been in how many schools? Three?
4.
Four, yeah. Four universities. I mean, what qualities would you say out of, like the most successful swimmers that you have and beyond swimming times? And maybe this is a little bit what we talk about, the work ethic and everything is the biggest quality that some of these swimmers have.
100%.
Yeah.
Somebody who's willing to change and learn and grow. I've worked with the best athletes in the world. I've worked with gold medal Olympians all the way, to multiple places. They are the most coachable athletes you will ever meet. Are they stubborn? Are they annoying at some points? Every athlete is, but coachability is the number one thing. I do not need an athlete that thinks they know better than I do because they will go nowhere. And I don't care if you have Bob Bowman as your coach, he will get mad at that athlete that cannot be coachable. You need to be coachable. You need to be open. Every great athlete will ever do that. I think more than anything, coachability and just being ready there. Attitude's a big thing as well, but I think that's also with coachability. If you're not
Yeah.
positive, if you're not happy, if you're not positive, if you're not excited to be there, that then we've got issues as well. But that's outside of it. That's where it's like we can manipulate that somewhat to a point where, University of Arkansas, like one of our main focuses as a team goal is the weirdest thing. It's fun. Like, our goal is to have fun, which is wild to say as an elite Division I school, but it's one of our biggest focuses. Like, we're gonna have fun, we're gonna enjoy it. So we can manipulate some things. I can't manipulate if you're not coachable. If you don't want to listen, if you don't change things, then you might as well stay at home because it's just gonna drive you crazy. It's gonna drive me crazy. We're gonna go round and round in circles.